good to go? Alright, I'm just going to go live now, and then we just
We're good to go?
Verity, kick it off.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jason. Fantastic. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the FOMENT Pitch Celebration for 2021. My name is Verity Kingsmill, and I head up the New Venture Institute at Flinders University. On behalf of the university, we'd like to welcome you here to our campus in Victoria Square. And for those people online, thank you for joining us as well. I'd like to first kick off by acknowledging the land on which we meet for today, that the presentations are actually happening live on the land of the Kaurna people. We acknowledge and respect their spiritual connection to the land, and we pay respect to their elders and leaders past, present and emerging. Really, I'm here to just welcome us, because I'm going to pass over to Jason in a minute, who is from Chair for WISER, who's going to be emceeing our event today. But I really wanted to just acknowledge our commitment from a Flinders University and New Venture Institute perspective on our commitment to FOMENT and why we're engaged in a program such as is the brilliance of FOMENT. We get to, I sit on the steering committee with Jason and Ron and Peter and Damien. I'm sure we're going to do a bit about that in a minute. But we get to observe fantastic innovation and fantastic engagement by aspiring innovators looking at wine, tourism and viti tech. It is an absolute joy to be able to support that, to enable that, and see the fine work of people like Darren and Carla lead those innovators through that next stage of their development, which we're going to be hearing from today. I'm going to pass over to Jason, who's going to be taking us through this event. But again, enjoy the session, be it in person or online, and we look forward to presenting some results very soon.
Thanks very much, Verity. Things must be looking up for FOMENT, because I remember last year emceeing this event and the room was much smaller at Flinders. So we must have gone up another level at NVI in Flinders. So thank you very much for that, Verity. Listen, we also have three partners that come into the FOMENT program. Ron Van Buren is not able to be with us today, but I have a little speech from Ron that he would like to give. So bear with me here. Hello, everyone. It's me, Ron Van Buren. Jason Amos. I've been using a night cream and gee, it's working miracles. I look and feel 10 times younger. Only kidding. Unfortunately, I'm unwell today, and Jason has kindly agreed to speak on my behalf. As the Managing Director of Hydra Consulting and Chair of FOMENT, it has been my pleasure to be involved in this year's program. To our FOMENT participants, I'd like to say congratulations. I've been thoroughly impressed with not only your ideas, but your willingness to share your collective experiences and grow and learn with each other. Your innovations have a power to raise the profile of agriculture, viticulture and tourism industries in Australia and abroad. I look forward to following your future success. Thank you. So that's from Ron from Home, is coming through from there. I'm Jason Amos, I'm the Chair of WISER, and I'm, I suppose, the other third of that partnership. I've been rather fortunate that I've sort of come in from year 2 to year 3, so a lot of the hard work and the sweat equity has happened over the last 2 to 3 years, but it's also has continued on for this year. Is a lot of sweat equity to get this program up and running, and also made it a little bit more challenging being quite hybrid and also in person as well. So I congratulate the operational team of FOMENT to get to where we are here today. Those that may or may not be aware, obviously FOMENT, it really is a tech accelerator and it's a tech adoption program. I like to look at it as almost like a crash test program where you can bring your concept or your company and you can put it through its paces, and you can do it in a safe space to then really sort of improve your business model and your business offering. And today's event is all about the final final pitch from the 5 participants that are going to give their pitch event later today. I do have a welcome to country that I need to work through here as well and share. We acknowledge this land that we meet on today is a traditional land of the Kaurna people, and that we respect their spiritual relationship with their country. We also acknowledge that the Kaurna people as their custodians of the Adelaide region, and that their cultural and heritage beliefs are still as important to the living Kaurna people today. We also pay respects to the cultural authority of Aboriginal people visiting, attending from other areas of South Australia and Australia. Great. In terms of housekeeping, I'm hoping that everyone's checked in on the COVID safe check-in that are that are in person. Those that are online, obviously you don't need a COVID safe check-in. If you need the bathrooms, people physically here, it's out towards the left, the lifts, and then turn left, and there's bathrooms there. If we have a fire alarm or an emergency, Raf is actually our warden for today, but I'll probably be following Carla because she's the wherever Carla goes, we'll follow Carla through from there down to the stairs, so coming through from there. All right, very good. Excellent. Let's get into the program, please, Raf. Right, so today, where are we, the screens that are coming through? Have we got the slides coming through here? So each of the participants today will be giving a 5-minute pitch. There will then be a 3-minute Q&A with the jury, and then there'll be a 2-minute setup for the next pitch to come through. We've got 1 pitch in person and 4 online. I will set my timer for 4 minutes and I'm going to keep it to 5 minutes, so we're nice and tight and really tidy that's coming through from there. What have we got in the presentation there, Raf?
The first one is...
Weren't we going to go through here? Yeah, please. Super. Maybe I'll click through here.
No, it's the wrong side, sorry.
Okay. That's the one. Good. Can we go back 2 slides, please? Oh, one more. Okay, so we're very fortunate that our pitch celebration event is part of the Spark Festival. This is actually a really interesting program which is looking at a festival of tech and innovations between 13th of October and 28th, and there's a lot of events that are happening through the Spark Festival, and this is being streamed live through with Spark, the program that we've got through today. Yep, I've got it here. Perfect. As I said, we've got our 3 partners, Hydra, Flinders University New Venture Institute and Wiser. And we also have other sponsors and friends of FOMENT. We've got PIRSA from South Australian Government. We have Wine Australia. We have Envision, Barossa, York and Mid-North, TIC SA, and we also have the Accelerator app that are partners with us as well. So in terms of our participants and our jury today, we have participants. We've got Jimmy Scott from Hone, we've got Guy Davidson from Onside, John Pennington from Rfider, we've got Zach Sweeney from WineTime Australia, and we've got Vijeesh Sathyanesan from ConnectOne Club. And also in the room we have Con and Francesca from AWRI, who also incorporated into the program. Our jury, we have 5 people on our jury today. We have Michael van der Summen, who is a sales and brand manager for Torbeck Wines, who's with us today and also hosted the FOMENT group during the program. We've got Paul Smith from Wine Australia. We've got Matthew Moat from matthewmoat.com, but ex-Wiser EO, and I suppose part of the instigators of the entire program. And we also have Verity Kingsmill from Flinders University, and Peter Hayes, who's also on our steering committee, sitting on the jury here as well. Right. Time for Jimmy to give his presentation from home. Jimmy is the national manager from Hone, and he's based up in Newcastle. Jimmy, you've got 5 minutes to get your pitch through to us. And when you start, I will start the timer.
No worries, and thank you very much, Mr. Amos. Thank you again. Yes, my name is Jimmy. I'm from Hone, and we want to talk about wine testing today. And when we say wine testing, we want to talk about that testing that happens all year round in the barrel room especially. Winemakers want to test their wine more often to improve their decision making. Their top 3 priorities are rapid testing time, easy to use equipment, and delivering accurate results. So our solution for that is the Hone Lab. Hone Lab uses a 3 ml sample of wine for analysis. It delivers all results on all analysis at once, and it doesn't use reagents, and there's no sample preparation. So it's a very easy to use instrument. It can test for the following parameters. So there's a variety of solutions that are currently used to test these things. In winery, there's a benchtop instrument to test alcohol, which could cost $20,000 to test one variable on its own. As far as acids and sugars go, for example, wineries spend more than $10,000 a year just on that testing alone. Sometimes using an external lab, so that's slowing the results, how quickly they can get them. And then for free and total SO2, most wineries use an in-house lab. So there's a variety of solutions there. So for our unit, for example, we could do their standard Q&A on pH, titratable acidity, and sulfur dioxide, all in one test rather than using multiple methods. So we also want to deliver value. Average 1,000 ton winery per annum will have 2 lab staff, do greater than 300 hours worth of testing for sulfur dioxide on its own, use $12,500 in testing consumables, and $15,000 on equipment and maintaining that equipment. We look to reduce those costs while also enabling unlimited testing. As one winemaker said, testing time is the biggest inhibitor of comprehensive analysis. Therefore, only basic analysis gets done. We want to enable them to have access to that comprehensive analysis. Our technology uses Raman spectroscopy. We reflect a laser off the sample and measure the Raman scatter that is reflected back. That produces a spectra similar to what you see in the middle of the screen. We can correlate this with lab data using our machine learning platform to detect minute changes in those peaks, which deliver a model that looks like what you have on the right-hand side that is actually used for testing alcohol. We also continue research and development on other parameters in wine. We want to ideally enable testing using a Hone Lab for everything from juice to bottling. We also have future sample types on the horizon. We currently have R&D active in beer, water, and also one unit working in essential oils too. This is our team. We have a diverse range of backgrounds and specialties. In 2018, we won a Wiser Impact Award for innovation as rapid phenotyping, and we're also supported by the New South Wales government's PSF. Our market entry involves selling Hone Labs for $30,000 each, plus an annual testing package of $10,000 per year. Now, this allows wineries to do unlimited testing as opposed to what they currently do. If we take our 1,000 ton winery again, their existing testing regime costs roughly $27,500 per year. We seek to reduce that to $16,000. On top of this, they will free up resources, such as vintage temp staff, and that will allow them to concentrate more on quality production. It also enables continuous testing right through the production phase, reduce their spoilage, improve operational efficiencies, reduce downgrades. So what we're after today is to call us for a demo. We need to demonstrate this starting from next month. We just found out today we can go to South Australia at the end of November. So we want to get out there and show people how Hone Lab can be used. So please give us access to your network, email us, call us, we'll look after you.
Super, Jimmy, well done. Excellent.
Thank you very much. And also, I've got one of Hone's founders, Will Palmer, on the call with me too.
Fantastic. Jury, questions? Matthew? No, you put your hand up. No. If you wave your hand, you're going to put a question out.
It's like putting in a bid at an auction. I guess what have you found as your challenge in terms of for winemakers to really understand? Do they really understand their testing costs and those wages and machinery and so forth? Has that been a challenge, and how have you sought to overcome that?
Funny enough, not really a challenge, but while I was interviewing, 2 winemakers actually pulled out their lab testing invoices and checked how much they spent on external lab testing alone in the last 12 months. And yeah, they're very forthcoming in looking straight at that. And it wasn't a hard one to overcome. So, I mean, a winery that only crushes around 300 or 400 tons per year will spend around about $10,000 just on an external lab for testing.
Peter, you had a question?
Yeah, I'm interested in how you present your data. Is it something where it's an integrated platform? Do you give some sort of interpretation, or is it simply yet another data stream? The opportunity you have if you're offering an integrated system like this seems to me that you could deliver a rather more coherent stream of useful data.
Hilariously, I did actually remove this slide from the presentation. So we have a series of applications to use. So there is this screen on the left-hand side is the desktop application that operates Home Lab and shows the results immediately after running the test. And then there's also a web and mobile-based login. So people can log in, view their results, and download them in real time anywhere in the world via our secure platform, as long as they've got internet access. So that's all cloud-based, so it can be accessed from anywhere. And we are also looking to the future for integrating with, I guess, seller management platforms and things like that to enable that data to go into the winery. But we have found that wineries currently do still use just analog methods and spreadsheets for recording their test results. So this will be a massive improvement. And then we've also got the potential for expanding with other programs that they may use. Thank you for asking that.
Jimmy and Paul, you've got one quick question?
Sorry, quick one. Yeah, so I guess I'm interested in you talked about the economics of it, but have you had much traction on just the simplicity side of things? Because I mean, there are other platforms out there that are, can use spectroscopy to measure these analytes, but I suspect that yours is simpler. So I'm just wondering what sort of feedback you're getting on that.
Yeah, we got a lot of support in interviews and survey, mainly the interviews, people saying that if it was easy enough for the seller hand to use, then the lab tech wouldn't even have to see the sample. So yeah, that is something that people are also interested in. Apart from the economics, there's the increased testing regime and the ease of use for anyone in the winery to operate it.
Fantastic. Knowing the diversity in the sector, I think it would be frightening for wineries to actually look at their true costs of what they're doing in laboratory and sampling and the likes. And I don't think many businesses really look at that cost in there as a line item. Jimmy and William, well done. Good luck. I did also meant to mention today there is a jury prize, but there's also a People's Choice Award. So later on in the program, after all the pitches, we'll be using the Slido app for a People's Choice Award, and that's both for physical and people that are online there as well. So thank you, Jimmy and William. Next up, we've got Guy Davidson from Onside, who's going to come and join us. And he's going to pitch here physically. Very good.
In the flesh.
In the flesh.
Can I use a new mic?
Yep, you can use my mic. And then you can use that there. And I'll set my timer when you're good to go.
Fantastic.
All right. 4 minutes will go off. Okay. Cool. But you're probably all over this now, hey?
Hopefully I've got it reined in by now. Yeah.
Oh, I can't open it.
Okay.
Can I just use your slide from the first session, or are they different?
Yeah, it's quite different.
Oh, okay. Just give me a sec. Can you just sing in the background?
Sing in the background. You don't want to hear that. It looks good.
Lucky, hey? Look at that.
I could have freestyled it anyway. I would have painted a beautiful picture with my words.
we go there. All right, good to go.
Hello everyone, my name is Davidson and I'm the Head of Growth for Onside. Onside is a rural operations software that powers rural operations and protects rural people. We do this through a digital check-in solution that improves operations, communications, compliance and biosecurity on farms and for people visiting those farms. Our CEO and co-founder Ryan Higgs used to work at one of New Zealand's largest dairy farming operations, Synlait Farms. At Synlait, they struggled to know who was where in real time, what jobs they were doing, and how to contact them if they needed to. Not only this, but communicating hazards, particularly temporary hazards, that's a requirement under legislation, was quite difficult. So they went to look for a visitor management solution that covered all these needs, and they couldn't find anything at the time. So that's where Onside was born. Onside's unique as a visitor management solution because not only do we have a product for the properties, which could be a farm, orchard or vineyard, we also have a product for the people visiting properties, which could be a contractor, a supplier or a service provider. This is unique not only because we have a free and subscription service on both sides, but it also creates this network referral system, which actually generates about 95% of our users. And this also creates a unique go-to-market model for Onside. Although we've just begun in Australia, we've had quite a lot of global success. We've got over 36,000 users across 3,500 rural businesses using Onside, and they've used Onside to map over 12,000 properties, 40,000 risks, and 750,000 check-ins. We're in 3 countries already, and I've just moved to Australia 4 months ago to help drive the growth here and support the local customers. Our core offering at a farm level is our software as a service check-in system, which helps with operations, communications, compliance and biosecurity for the farms and the people visiting the farms, which helps drive the growth and adoption of the app that then can generate data for our Onside Intelligence product. An example of how this works is, there's ever-increasing compliance needs in the rural sector. So, being able to do the report gathering and traceability through the Onside app rather than having bits of paper or Excel spreadsheets is really useful. For example, in wine, there's a sustainable wine accreditation. There's a big push for it in the industry right now, and the management of the documentation can be a nightmare for growers. Through Onside, you can do things like map your property, traceability of visitors, and manage all your OH&S. Our ultimate vision is to create a global rural network to provide next-generation biosecurity. We have a product, Onside Intelligence, that can take data from a range of different sources and build an intricate rural network that can be used to optimally respond to biosecurity incursions. Some of the features of Onside Intelligence includes pathway mapping, optimal readiness, optimal response, infection prediction, source detection, and optimal eradication. Any biosecurity incursion can be a potential billion-dollar problem to the industry, not to mention the emotional and other impacts on the farmers and growers themselves. And the speed to response to a disease is one of the most important factors in controlling the disease. So that's where Onside Intelligence can help. Underpinning our unique product is an elite team. Our board of directors have not only walked in our customers' shoes, but also have experience growing companies globally. And our senior leadership team do a fantastic job of leading the different divisions and ensuring we continue to innovate and deliver our customers what they need. I'm looking forward to our continued growth in Australia and further globally. If you want to find out more about Onside, you can contact myself or our CEO, and you can follow us on social media on LinkedIn and Facebook. The handles are up there. Thank you. Oh yeah, questions?
Yep. Questions from the jury?
I've talked to most of you at length, but anyway.
Two questions, if I could.
You may.
Hi, Guy. How you going? You're offering 4 solutions in the one package. What is your really core focus, I guess? It's all very well being adaptable, and I like the idea, but when it comes down to it, what do you think is your central proposition? And secondly, you're out doing the face-to-face. What's your longer-term delivery to market, engagement with customers, and the ongoing support?
Yeah, it's a good question. To your first point, because we had to think about this hard because it's hard to distill the value proposition when you go across essentially 4 different departments. So really what we're doing is reducing paperwork and digitising manual admin heavy processes. That's your core business offering. that's our core thing that we do. We give time back by digitising these processes, essentially, and by bringing them all under one house, because you always hear complaints about we've got a million different apps and a million different systems. In terms of the second question, we've got a 3-phase approach when we come to a market. Land, expand, consolidate. So in the land, which is me right now, going into a new market, it's really about building those relationships and building up the network, a lot of on the ground in front of people. And then as you go further along, you get more of that structured sort of sales approach. And then eventually you just get the follow-up marketing and stuff because you're so well known in the industry that it's more just about getting in front of people and reminding them that you exist. So that's really the approach. So we're seeing that play out in New Zealand and it's worked really well. So that's the plan going forward.
Verity.
Hi, Guy. Thank you for introducing Onside, and welcome to Adelaide.
Thank you.
I just wondered, you've been having some great success overseas, particularly in New Zealand. What have been some things and some feedback from your clients that have further advanced Onside's development? What have you learnt from them? What are some other things that you're working on now that's taking feedback from users?
We are massive on co-development, so I don't know why other people don't do this, but we talk to our customers all the time because you're building for them, you're not building for you. So we don't know in an office what is actually going to work in the rural space, and I think that's where a lot of systems have missed the trick with the rural community. So, things like we started just as a check-in and health and safety system because that was a need of the co-founders when they were in the dairy space. Then we've realised people started using the ability to map the hazards around the property as tasks to do. So we realised there's a gap in the operational space of task management. So then we started building that out. So we're constantly talking to our customers and asking what would be most useful next. And I actually got asked in the last pitch earlier this morning, are you finding differences across the sectors? There may be slight nuances, but the reality is it's all the same. The same OH&S legislation applies to everyone. Everyone has to be managing people and properties and visitors. So there may be slight nuances across the different sectors, but essentially what we're building is useful for wine as it is for orchards, as it is for agriculture. Does that answer your question? Thanks.
Guy, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Well done, mate. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move from one Kiwi across to another Kiwi. Next up, we've got John Pennington from Rfider. John is the CEO of Rfider, and it's looking at software visibility and transparency in supply chains. And John, when you are ready, tell us when you're ready and go with the pitch. I've got to say, well done to the operational team. Both pitches have been clear and concise. 4 minutes, good to go. So Carla and Darren, you've done a great job through the program is what I need to say. No pressure, John.
Well, hello everybody, I'm John Pennington. I'm the CEO and founder of Rfider. Great to be part of SparkFest today and have this opportunity to pitch our solution to you. We're an award-winning software provider from New Zealand. We're 3 years young and we're already being recognised by global industry leaders in the F&B space. Our high-performance team are passionate about creating safer, sustainable, and more transparent global supply chains through innovation. And as a company, we exist because the market are demanding improved product safety, end-to-end traceability, and greater transparency from the brands they choose to buy and work with. Now, the problem we solve is that collecting all of the data associated with traceability, let alone transparency, is a costly and time-consuming burden for most organizations. Current tools and approaches are just not up to the task, especially when it comes to dealing with environmental, social, and governance transparency. So we went back to the drawing board to figure out how to tackle those problems. And we've designed and launched a whole new software platform which simplifies and reduces the cost of collecting, securing, and sharing detailed traceability and process data across supply chains all the way through to a consumer. We do this with mobile-first tools and a powerful cloud-based platform, which makes managing any data collection task simple. We're aligned with the Australian Guide to Implementing Food Traceability, and through that alignment are able to publish a whole range of tasks, over 100 tasks per item of food, for example, and manage and collect that on our platform. Unlike expensive ERP systems, logistics systems, and bespoke tools, Rfider is a fit-for-purpose, all-in-one solution which can be used standalone or can augment existing systems. It's quick and easy to set up. It's provided as a monthly subscription. Really, it's affordable for businesses of any size. We've been going at this for a while now, and we are gaining traction in a number of sectors. Our initial focus has been on sectors which are highly scalable globally and have immediate operational competitive need for supply chain traceability. We've validated product market fit in all of these initial sectors and have some fantastic global customers and users on the platform. Our sales process is now repeatable and is currently being scaled. And our subscription fees are ranging from $1,000 to $10,000 per month, depending on the company size and the data collection needs. Our customer acquisition to date has been through direct sales, which we will look to augment with strategic partnerships. And our customers include some of the world's biggest and most influential organizations in their sector. For example, Ecom Group, which is the #2 coffee trading organization in the world. Importantly, the platform has reached a level of maturity now that customers can self-sign up and onboard onto the platform. So we'll soon be able to support a highly scalable end-to-end digital sales model. And customers are choosing our platform for a number of reasons. One is that we've actually solved the end-to-end traceability problem for businesses of any size. And we come in at around about 10% of the cost of alternatives. And lastly, our software is intuitive and valuable for supply chain pros and novices alike. We're super excited to be turning our focus to the wine industry. We know there's a lot of value we can add to the sector, and we are currently exploring the best routes to market. And we're prioritizing and figuring out what we'll need to win. Certainly through our time at FOMENT, we've been able to get a great accelerated introduction to the industry and how we apply our technology, which is working elsewhere effectively. With that in mind, our growth plans for 2022, well, we'll be ramping up with existing customers. We have a very strong network effect in the coffee industry. So our customers are importers and exporters. They're pushing us down the supply chain to roasters and up the supply chain to farmers and growers. We're super excited to be exploring and moving into other F&B categories such as wine. And we'll be building out our presence in Australia very shortly. And we're looking to continue to innovate on our award-winning platform.
1 minute, John.
Okay, great. We're excited to be back in Australia. We'd love to take any queries that you have, or if you'd love to have a demo of the platform, that would be great. And we'll be doing a capital raise in the near future as well to fund our growth overlay plan into Australia and the US. Thank you very much.
Super, John. I'm very glad I didn't put the Monty on you with the timing just before that speech. Jury, any questions from the jury, please, for John? Oh, Paul, please. Thank you.
Hi, John. I'm just wondering if you've had any aha moments through FOMENT, where you've realised an opportunity in the sector, or some other assumption that you just took for granted, but got blown out of the water. Just any sort of aha moment you've had.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we made some assumptions going into the program that the wine industry was perhaps a little bit more advanced in terms of traceability and transparency. So it's been a bit of an eye-opener there in terms of where to focus our efforts, and just in terms of been a good understanding for us to. Well, it's been good for us to gauge what's going to be required to help educate around what the art of the possible and what we're doing in other industries and how that applies to wine.
Yeah, that's a great question and response. Quite often we forget that wine is, it starts in agriculture, but it's actually a food and beverage product. And marrying the two, there's a lot of work to be done. And I think this is where your innovation is really coming to the forefront. Michael, a question, please.
Sorry. For a smaller to medium-sized winery, where do you see them using your system? Is it within their marketing, or is it really within their compliance, or are they looking at? Would you look across the board for where they could use it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So where would a small to medium winery look to use our platform? So the platform itself can be used to automate and mobilize a range of quality assurance tasks across the winemaking process and in the operation of the vineyard. So a lot of opportunity there for efficiency gains. We definitely see the opportunity to bring a evidence-based storytelling / evidence-based marketing to the consumer. So instead of just saying something happened, actually show the evidence and prove that. And we think that's a really great opportunity for businesses or smaller wineries to bring their messages across in a multi-language platform for other markets. It's blown me away the passion and the stories that all of these vineyards have throughout our tours, and we believe the platform is going to be a really powerful asset to bring some of that storytelling to life.
Super. You want one more question, Peter? You've got. I'll give you time, Peter.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
He's so good, this chap out front. Thanks, John. The question, I guess, on that transparency bit, is it ultimately compliance, or is it the storytelling that you see will be the big selling point of this?
I think it's still a bit too early to tell. The work that we've been doing with the FDA and our exposure to a lot of the requirements for bringing products into the US would signal that more stringent traceability and transparency requirements are on their way across a range of different industries. I think if you look at the work that's been done by Deakin University with the AGIFT framework for implementing traceability across food and in particular, I think it highlights that greater regulation is coming and everybody's getting ready for it. And we love working in that space. But equally, we're really excited about what it can bring to consumers as well. We've been reviewing what we can do to improve communications across a variety of different categories. And I think Darren Ollian, who you may be aware, did the Netflix series Down to Earth recently, and he used the term cultivating trust through transparency, which we liked, and we can definitely see an opportunity in agriculture to connect people back to their food and really cultivate that trust through just being really transparent around what's going on.
Excellent, John. Thank you very much. Right, next up we have, we're going across to Melbourne next. We're going to talk with Zachary from WineTime Australia. Zachary is the founder of WineTime Australia, and it's a winery finder app. Zachary, 4 minutes, then I'll give you the 1 minute warning. How's that sound?
Sounds perfect. I'll try and meet the others so far.
No pressure. Over to you.
Thank you. Last November, my partner and I did a road trip from Sydney to Byron Bay. We love wine, so we wanted to include wineries on this trip. But we quickly discovered there's no easy way to do this. And whilst, as you can see, we were successful in the end, it was only after trawling through a range of websites and piecing things together. Upon returning to Sydney and speaking to colleagues and friends, they all agreed. Wine lovers want an easy-to-use app to find wineries. Unlike Google, which simply doesn't have the detail nor the features that wine lovers want. WineTime Australia is a winery finder app that helps people discover wineries, helps wineries engage with customers, and helps bring people to wine regions. There are over 5.5 million visits to wineries each year in Australia and 2,500 wineries. And when you expand that to a global perspective, there's over 200 million visits and over 75,000 wineries. But there's no easy-to-use app that actually helps people find or explore these wineries. WineTime Australia solves that problem. It allows people to discover and learn about wineries. They can save tasting notes whilst they're there, as well as exploring a range of wine trails, as well as the ability to create and share trails with friends. They can use over 20 filters to find wineries that suits their needs, from opening hours to wine variety to food options. You can also save your favourite wineries, as well as leaving reviews whilst you're there. WineTime is all focused on a range of customer journeys, from those that are just on the road and want to find the closest winery to them right now. Or perhaps you want to undergo some custom trip planning, like I was trying to do last year, and you want to spend a few minutes filtering for wineries that suit your particular tastes. Or you can choose from a range of regional trails, as you can see here. Perhaps there's a certain region you don't know and you just want to pick the best wineries to start with, or there's a certain varietal that you want to explore. WineTime also helps wineries by providing a portal where they can go on and update their information, view valuable data insights about what people are searching for when they're looking for wineries, as well as how people are interacting with their listing. They can also go on there and update their tasting list, so that way it's a completely digital experience for the user, and it's easy for the winery to update this as they sell wine. They can also list tourism experiences for people to discover, as well as promoting events and deals. WineTime is based on a freemium model. Individuals get the base features for free, and this includes the winery map and the access to a range of trails, while signing up for a paid subscription allows them to access all 20 filters, as well as a range of curated wine trails. For wineries, they're listed for free with their data populated for the tourism data warehouse, whilst a monthly subscription unlocks them as a featured winery, which means they can also subscribe to a trail and gain data insights. And for wine and tourism regions, it's all about a custom pricing partnership depending on which features they want to include in the app. And this may be regional data insights, the ability to create a range of regional trails for visitors to explore, or integration onto their website so users have a familiar and easy to use function to search for wineries when they're planning. From day one, WineTime was built for wine lovers on the road. And as a result, it's got a range of features that the competition simply doesn't have. Google, for example, lacks the details all the way to collate wineries together easily for the user. Looking at regional-based tourism organisations, typically it's web or paper-based, and often they're geographically constrained in the wineries that they present. And whilst there are great companions in Australia, again, there's no app, there's no easy wine trails to explore or create and share with friends. WineTime was soft launched in Q3 for East Coast wineries in Australia, and we've already gained some excellent feedback from user surveys as well as people who have downloaded the app. Q4 is all about the full launch of the app and integration into the data warehouse to list as many Australian wineries as possible, as well as securing some initial wine region partnerships. Next year's all about the expansion of these regional partnerships, expansion across New Zealand, as well as the implementation of a range of additional features.
1 minute, Zach.
So if you want to spend time enjoying wineries, not trying to find them, then download WineTime Australia today. And anyone who downloads it in the next 48 hours and signs up for a free account will get a month of pro access once the full launch occurs. And if you're a winery, I look forward to you reaching out and seeing how WineTime Australia can help you and your customers. Thank you.
Excellent, Zach. Whilst the jury are thinking of their questions, I've been following your example there. You had Printhi Wines. I've been following their new cellar door online, and that looks really, really exciting when you get to go back up there again. Ed Swift is doing a great job up there. So that's my personal plug for Printhi and the Orange region. Questions from the jury. Matthew.
Yeah, I completely agree with your comments there, Jason. What they're doing in Orange is fantastic. Wiser held their direct-to-consumer conference there a couple of years ago, and I thought it was one of the best food and wine experiences I've ever had. But anyway, side note. What I like to understand is obviously wine tourists perhaps only go wine tasting once or twice, a quarter or a year or whatever. What are your plans in terms of how to further activate your customers outside of purely planning trips, but also purchasing wine through the wineries that are activated on your platform?
Excellent. Yeah, great question. So one of the first things we're looking to do in regards to that, and this also comes from a lot of user feedback we've got, is integrating distilleries and breweries into it as well. They're very complementary, and they're also a lot more of the city-based. So that's one way that we're anticipating to increase the number of touch points with the users, and also the expansion of that tasting notes section. So you don't necessarily need to be at the winery to record tasting notes for a wine. You could be out at a restaurant, you really enjoy an Australian wine, you note it down in the app. And then when you're on the road again, exploring the country, it might notify you that, hey, you tasted this wine a while ago and you're in the nearby region. In the long term, we are potentially looking to help with that translation across to in allowing people to buy it through the app itself, or better connection through to the winery online store. Because it's completely valid in terms of, if you only go for a winery once a quarter or once every half year, we want to increase the number of touch points we have. So they're our initial tactics, and then we'll see what else we can expand in that regard.
Michael, question please.
I think it's great that you're integrating with ATDW, but as somebody who runs a cellar door, there's lots of different systems where we're loading up tasting notes, we're loading up wines for sale, etc., which is a fair bit of stress trying to manage 6, 8, 12, 20 different platforms, all with the same data. I guess along what Matthew was saying, looking at ways to integrate with other platforms, is that something that you've seen out there, that there is a little bit of, is there pushback from winery operators? It's like not another platform?
Yeah, definitely. And as someone who's trawled through thousands of winery websites, I know data integrity can be a bit of a challenge, especially around opening hours in the time of COVID, which is why we have really focused on that data warehouse. Because if all kind of organizations, and I've seen regional bodies really aligning to that as well in terms of what feeds onto their website, then that does reduce down the amount of stress for wineries. If they've got a single aspect they need to keep up to date, then that's a single point of information that will be spread, and there won't be that inconsistencies. But it is definitely something which people have raised, and that's why it's very much, the data's populated automatically. I've got scripts that will do that, so the winery doesn't need to have that physical touch point, and then it's up to them in terms of if they want to have the digital tasting list on there, then excellent, that's a choice, and they can integrate that in line with their paper tasting. But again, that burdens, they don't need to have that burden if they don't want to. It's an added benefit if they want to use that functionality.
Yeah, great question, Michael. A single source of truth with so many apps out there, and how do you update that and then maintain that across that is really what you're referring to here, Michael, isn't it?
It is a real challenge, and it's and there's nothing worse than having inconsistent data across multiple platforms, even when you're trying your best to keep them updated.
Yeah, and you could probably go a little bit broader and beyond. If I can take liberty as the MC today, is looking at your other distribution channels as well. It might not necessarily be your direct sales that are got that information and promoting that information as well.
Yeah, look, the question I would have if there is data, for example, our website has our tasting notes, which is the most up to date. Is there opportunities to sort of pull data from, I guess, key e-commerce or online platforms, because that's always going to be the most up-to-date version of what's happening.
Yeah, excellent. And Zach, love to see the your app, and then comparing against Google, and you've got all of these ticks and green lights. So you've really taken on board to the original pitch that Darren and Carla put you through the processes of having high aspirations is what we're trying to achieve here. So fantastic work, and I've also taken notes from the launch event as to where we were. So well done, Zach. Okay, our final presentation today is going to be from Vijeesh from ConnectOne Club. Vijeesh, he's based in New South Wales. Whereabouts in New South Wales? In New South Wales. Vijeesh.
Yes. Yeah, hello. Yeah, I'm from Sydney.
From Sydney, fantastic. And you've been able to get a haircut already after the lockdown. Is that how it works? I had to have one hair joke this year. That was so. Vijesh, apologies for that. Listen, I'll set the timer again for 4 minutes, and I'll let you know. And over to you.
Yes. Yeah. 1 second.
Do Do you need a hand from our side, Vijeesh, at this point, or he's on mute? Yeah. Are we able to share the screen from here?
Yeah, it's coming up here.
Oh, hang on, here we come.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Excellent.
Hello.
Everything's on the screen. You're good to go, Vijeesh.
Thank you. Yeah, so hello all. Hope you all are having a great afternoon. We are happy to be part of this tech festival as well. We are the ConnectOne Club team. We build digital networks for farmer groups. Using ConnectOne Club platform, we address the problems that farmers face when they aggregate their produces and sell them to bigger markets. Farmers face several challenges in this aggregation process, mainly due to the lack of harvest scheduling and planning tools, and limited strategies to aggregate the produces. As a solution to this problem, we launched the ConnectOne Club platform, which enables the farmer groups to schedule and plan their harvest cycles and digitally connect with the end buyers to secure competitive bids for their aggregated producers. As an example, a cardamom farmer group faced several challenges in aggregating their produce and connecting with the end buyers. They were operating in a small local market controlled by the buyers from the local area. This small local market restricted them from achieving global market prices. Our digital produce aggregation platform helped them to increase their market reach and connect with remote end buyers, which helped them to increase their gate prices and reduced operating costs. This is a sneak peek at our system. This is the system interface where farmers can load their stock details, and the stock list will be shown in an interactive map with advanced filters to browse through and options to submit bids. This is the mobile app for buyers, where they can browse through the stock list based on their preferred quality, location, price range, and other buying requirements. Buyers can also submit their bids for the stocks and communicate with the farmers. These processes and technologies can bridge the gap between farmers and end buyers. Timing is perfect for building such digital community platforms now, because there is more focus on building collaboration in the agricultural domain, and COVID is shifting most of the operations to online. And moreover, farmers are looking to expand their market. We got very good traction since our MMP launch in December 2020. After onboarding 4 farmer groups, we had to hold our sales operations to complete our system upgrades. Our system upgrades are completed now. We are ramping up our marketing and sales operations with our fine-tuned system. Our main focus is on farmer markets, farmer cooperatives and associations who are trying to increase gate prices for their producers. Our system can be used in a wide variety of produce markets. We are planning to launch our platform in various regions, targeting 1,000+ farmer groups. Our average monthly subscription is $1,000 per month. It's a very big and strong market with the farmer groups who are trying to explore new markets to sell their producers. Our SaaS-based monthly plans are ranging from $400 to $1,400 based on the number of farmers in a group. Since our MMP release in December 2020, we had a steady and active roadmap in our journey. We have upgraded our system from the MMP version and it's ready to scale up. We are planning to onboard 50 farmer groups by March 2022. As our next tech milestone, we are planning to include more planning and scheduling tools in our platform to make it a complete digital network for farmer groups and communities. This is our founder team. We all are coming from an agricultural background with a strong experience in technology. That is ConnectOne and our journey so far. We are looking for partners and investors to ramp up our marketing and sales operations. Please reach out to us to know more about our product and connect with us. Thank you.
Excellent. I've got to say, the 5 presentations, right on time. It's made my job easy. Right, questions from the jury, please. Verity,
I'll go first.
you've picked up the micro, you've scratched the ear.
Thanks, Vijeesh. Thank you for sharing ConnectOne Club. A question for you. That scale up from 4 farmer groups you've got on board now to 50 by beginning of next year is quite a steep climb. Is it realistic, and how are you going to achieve it?
Yes, so it took some 8 months to scale up our system. So during that time, actually, we were doing a lot of marketing operations. Actually, we were reaching out to a lot of different organizations and groups. So we already got a very strong pipeline to onboard the groups. So like we thought, like we have a plan, like we got 6 months ahead of us. So in 6 months, we should be able to onboard around 40 to 50. Like we are targeting for 50. And we got a very good pipeline with us. So that's why we are targeting for that number. Yeah.
Hi, Vijeesh.
Just turn it on, Peter, please.
Hi, Vijeesh. Good to see you. The question is, I guess, how do you translate your cardamom case study experience to the marketplace here with quite a different structure and interface, I guess, between grower and winemaker? I think certainly the issue of our market disruption at the moment, the offtake for export and the like, is clearly disrupted, so there may be opportunity, but I'm interested in how you translate, if you like, the cardamom experience to an Australian-centric grower experience.
Yeah, so what we understood is, based on the shelf life of producers, we have different kind of acceptance for our solution, because for the producers with less shelf time, like there are more demand for these kind of platforms, because through this the farmers will be able to connect with more buyers, so that they can sell their producers quickly. So that is one factor which is affecting our marketing effort or the sales pace. So considering the shelf life, it looks like like there is a very good opportunity for grapes, because like we can see a lot of platforms for wines already, but for the grapes, like we are not seeing any such active platforms, especially in Australia. Like we can see platforms for grapes in US and Europe, but we don't have such any platforms in Australia yet. So that's a very good opportunity for such platforms, So, and another thing is it's mainly focusing the farmers. So the farmers will get a lot of benefits out of this as well. So that is our learning and planning. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Peter.
One final quick question, Matthew.
Yeah, Vijeesh, you mentioned, I think one of the things that stood out for me was increasing the farmer's gate price. So how does the platform actually do that?
Yeah, so mainly through this platform, we can connect with more buyers, and it can connect with remote buyers as well. So that is one, so this particular process will invite more buyers into the process. And once we have more buyers, the things will get a little bit competitive, because the number of buyers are increasing. There will be more bidding coming in for the stocks. So through the bidding process and through the number of buyers, farmers will start to get better prices. So that is our finding and observation so far.
Super. Thank you very much, Vijeesh.
Thank you.
Okay, well done to all the speakers for their pitch. Now it's the crunch time, the prizes. So what have we got here for our prizes today? There we go. We'll find the right page. There we go. Yep, there we go. So we've got 2 prizes today. The first prize, the jury will select a winner and the People's Choice will select a winner. So there'll be 2 prizes that will be handed out to 2 lucky participants. And each of them will get a year's membership to Wiser, so they can continue their collaboration and networking journey within the sector. And equally, will also receive a dozen bottles of Torbreck wine. Fantastic. And that will be sent to wherever. So it does not necessarily have to come to Adelaide, Guy. Just because you're here, it doesn't mean you're the favourite. And is it 3 bottles? I was told it was a dozen. Jeez, I'm sorry about that. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, we're going to need an audit. We're going to need an audit very soon, I think. Okay. Okay, so it is time to vote. So I'm going to ask the jury to go to their room to do their audit and validation. For the People's Choice Award, for the People's Choice Award, if you can log into slido.com, and I'm told if you put in the code of FOMENT, then you'll be able to choose your selection through from there. So we don't have long to do that voting, and we will be looking to close that up in sort of 5 or 10 minutes, basically from there. Next up on the program, I've got our guest speaker, and we've got Clair Crowley from Push Adventures. Claire today is going to be talking about, she's co-founder of Push Adventures, which is focusing on improving Australian tourism with a wide range of physical abilities and making travel more accessible. Claire, with her husband set up the business back in 2014 through your own personal experiences on travelling and tourism. So Claire, thank you very much for joining us today. And we have obviously the people in the room today, but we have equally and a little bit more also online that are joining us here today. So Claire, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
I was looking for Slido in my defence.
Right.
Thanks so much for having me here today. I feel a little bit overwhelmed following the pictures that have just been, but I'm also excited to share with you the experience that I've had by doing my own startup, and also trying to use technology to solve the problem that we exist to do. So just a little bit of background. The accessible travel market is valued at $8 billion, and that's only contributed to the fact that people with disability spend a certain amount, but it's also times by the travel party, which is 2.8. So it's actually a much bigger opportunity than just $8 billion, because it doesn't take into account that baby boomers and our ageing population, families with prams, people speak English as a second language, all benefit from an accessible experience. So if you think about that, baby boomers are retiring earlier, so they've got about 20 years where they might be in that period where they benefit from accessible experiences, and they spend 80% of their wealth on travel and leisure. So it's a huge driver for where the industry is going at the moment. And something else that I wanted to plant the seed on is that we all benefit at some stage of our life. So whether it's when we have young children and we're pushing prams around, or we're taking our elderly parents out, we're all going to benefit from an accessible experience. So there's some specific considerations for each customer segment, but this is similar to the considerations that you would take for people with dietary requirements. So as soon as you stop to think that people have specific needs, you'll also start to be able to uncover some of the solutions you have to overcome these problems. And so although there's some considerations for each customer segment, everyone is unique in their ability. So there isn't a one-size-fits-all that's going to solve this problem. So it's very much understanding your environment and then communicating the environment so that people can make informed choices for their own needs. Disability doesn't determine the desire to travel. So any age or ability can still have the same desires to go shark cage diving, wine tasting, stay in a caravan park. It's not a determinant of what we want to do. So the first thing that you can do in the tourism industry is understand what you've got and communicate that to the wider audience. So there's an enormous opportunity for people working in the tourism industry. So usually we encourage tourism operators to look at their key experience and then really unpack what they've got, and then also then look to develop it so that it can appeal to other people's senses. So whether it's that they can enable people to touch, the experience, whether they can hear it, whether they can make it into a quiet experience. There's so many ways that you can make the experience so much more accessible. And so there's been lots of studies around what the future traveller looks like. And so they all want immersive, connected spontaneity in their experiences. And these are all things that relate to the accessible travel industry as well. And so that's where technology can be could provide a really good solution for us in this space. So people with disabilities in particular have been utilising technology to help them work within the built environment at the moment. So I would encourage anyone working in the tech industry to look at how that can apply to the challenges that people have when travelling. So the whole travel experience needs to be looked at from someone with specific needs. So it's not just the planning, it's the actually getting there and then experiencing the whole journey. So if there's a broken part in any of that chain, then the experience is not accessible, and it makes it unachievable for families like mine. So technology presents a huge opportunity because everyone needs everyone is unique. They all have different needs, and so yes, there's things like ATDW which provides some good information, but the problem actually lies with the operators. The industry operators don't understand their access, so they don't know how to communicate it, which means they can't set the right expectations, which means people often don't go because they're too scared that it's not going to work out for them. So if I would love to talk with anyone that's excited about, finding some technology to help solve this problem that might bring in ATDW, but also has an ability to bring in a compliance level, also that user review, bring in a whole heap of platforms that exist, but can provide some sort of validation that it is, how accessible it is. It's not about saying it's wheelchair accessible, it's much more about determining what is it, and people can make informed decisions. So it's a huge opportunity. Nobody's solving it right now. There's been accreditation processes put in place, but again, it relies on the individual operator being able to understand their access and put that information into a platform that then's usable. But the problem still lies with the operator. They're too busy. They don't understand. They're not driven to make a difference. So it's unsolved right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Claire, and a wonderful insight. And I think I was listening to your talk, and I was the best way I can summarise it is that as a society we have to embrace diversity in the community that we have, whether it's physical abilities or whether we have autoimmune problems or food allergies and the likes. As a tourism industry, we actually have to embrace that diversity and be aware of what we are doing in terms of our business and our offerings that are coming through. So I really value your cause and what you've been able to bring to the program today as our speaking. So fantastic. Excellent. So I don't know where our judges are. We need someone to go and knock on the door and talk to our judges. Alan, whereabouts? We are closing the voting now, so the voting is now officially closed. I feel like it's the Brownlow medal. There's nothing more that's going to be coming through in terms of the voting. Whilst Alan, you're going through the validation of that, I think we might need to go and give a little knock on the door and get our judges coming through the program. So those that are online, please just pause for a second and I'll be back with you shortly. We need 2 minutes is what the judges are saying. Whilst we're waiting, does anyone in the room have any questions for Claire that they would like to bring on Claire's talk or presentation? No, 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 we're all done. Guy? No.
I'd be interested in Claire's story.
Yes.
Just hearing the story. If she can come up and tell us,
Yes, yes,
personal story behind it.
yes. There is a personal story behind it.
So 20 years ago, my husband broke his back snowboarding on a boys' trip to Canada when he was 21, and so in an instant, his life was changed. So, we've been together quite a long time now. But in our early 20s, we were kind of ignorant to our ability or disability, and so we planned a trip to Europe like you do when you're in your 20s, and we had 8 weeks over there, and super excited, backpacking, we had the Euro pass, all that sort of stuff, and couldn't wait to get over there. And we knew we'd have some challenges, so we'd used a travel agent to book a few of our hotels just to in the main cities, and then we thought we would work out the rest. And the first hotel that we arrived at that the travel agent booked for us had a step to get in, and we from there it pretty much went downhill. So it just opened our eyes that, even though we were so able, the world was kind of against us. But one of the biggest things that we learned is that it's your attitude that makes the difference to our experience, because sometimes, so take shark cage diving, I don't know why I'm thinking about that, but it's not easy to make that accessible, but your attitude that says, you're welcome and we're willing to help you actually makes that experience accessible to families like ours. So it's the first thing that you can do is think about your attitude and how you're welcoming people to your experience. So, but anyway, since that eventful trip, we've had an amazing amount of holidays, and we've made it work, and we've managed to wrangle 2 kids on a lot of these trips as well now. So
and having 2 kids equally is not so easy as
no,
well.
no, we do. We've had some challenges, but we care very much about being an example to the industry, to sort of show that this is what, we're normal people, we're a normal family, we travel for all the same reasons, we just have some extra hurdles to come across.
So if you're a tourism business in the Barossa, and I'm not going to name any names in any way, shape or form, no. Okay, tourism business in South Australia, what's the first thing that they could do?
Tell people about their access. So a good example that I just came across was Pirate Life Brewing. So they do a tour around their beer shed, and they clearly say in the tour details that you have to navigate a series of steps to participate. And that's awesome, So no, we can't participate, but we're not going to get there and get our expectations let down. So so just put it out there.
It's managing expectations, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. But also then it makes it our choice. So I can still go on the tour, and my husband might be happy to sit in the at the bar having a drink. So it just puts all the choices back into our hands when the information's there for us.
And it's respecting your time as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it also gives confidence to the operators to so that when people call up and ask these questions, they have the right answer, and they're giving a consistent answer every time.
And I suppose the final thing I'll say is what you had in your in your talk was the opportunity for business is huge.
It's absolutely enormous. It's the future is accessible.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you. Judges, we're back. I get to hand the microphone over. No. Oh no.
It's written, so.
Okay. Okay, right. Okay, who do I give first?
Well, whatever you feel like.
Okay, right. Well, what's that, sorry? Okay, the People's Choice Award. Drum roll, please. Thank you. Jimmy from Hone. Woo! Take a bow, Jimmy. 3 bottles of Torbreck coming your way. Sorry, not a dozen, unless we talk to Michael. Well done, well done. And the jury award. Drum roll, please. Onside, Guy. Well done, Guy. You do get to take your bottles of wine home today. Well done. I will now hand over, I think, to Carla for the graduation certificates. Carla and Darren, because the FOMENT team is the Carla and Darren. Yeah, there we with a C. There we go.
That's two angry people who run a startup accelerator.
Exactly. So first of all, thank you so much for coming. I think it's like been really fantastic to see people in the room and online, and really appreciative of the efforts that everyone in the ecosystem in South Australia and across Australia and New Zealand and across the world are making to help to support FOMENT as we move forward. Are we supposed to? Sure, as long as. Oh, okay, no worries. As long as. Am I still smiling? Maybe not. After all these changes. I know. Thank you, Matthew. First of all, I think apart from thanking the whole ecosystem, all the startups, also alumni who've been like in our journey with us. So from 2019 and 2020, I think we've now helped approximately 25 startups. They're about to not only accelerate, to scale, but also to be adopted by industry. And so big thanks to those startups, alumni and current participants. We are part now of FOMENT family, and we will continue. And thanks to the jury. It's been amazing. And hearing them also deliberating, it has not been an easy journey for them, an easy job. So I think that all of the startups participating in the pitch, they've done a fantastic job. So well done, everyone. It's been a pleasure to be with you for the last 7 weeks. We spent a lot of hours together, and I think Flinders University and NVI and Hydra Consulting and WISA are definitely organizations that have supported these startups in their journey. And I think we've seen a lot of difference from the moment that they first started to pitch on the 17th of September to today. So well done, everyone. Thanks so much, Jason, for your support and for emceeing the event. You've done a fantastic job. Thanks to all the support teams and the operation teams from Flinders New Venture Institute, Hydra, WISA. You've all been, we wouldn't probably be here without you, I think. So well done to everyone for helping us as well. And I think FOMENT stands for, the revolution in wine, tourism and viticulture tech. So I think we are here to support you, and South Australia is doing a fantastic job to also be this international hub for viticulture, wine tech and tourism tech innovation. And over to you, Darren.
First of all, about the wine. It's very, very good wine. These are 3 bottles of very good wine. Guy, they will be posted to you. You won't be able to take them with you. Jimmy, you do not have to share them with Will. As for the rest of you, we did post out an average of 1 bottle per participant this year. So as far as I'm concerned, you all got the bottle of wine that you were promised. You can take that up with me when you visit. I do want to acknowledge Matt, as usual, because of course Matt Moat was the CEO of WISA at the time when FOMENT started. So it's always great to have you back. And thank you again for coming back. And congratulations on your business model, where he ends up working with several of the companies that have gone through. Thank you, Paul, again for coming. We really do appreciate Wine Australia's role in FOMENT and appreciate your support that you've given us, and want to acknowledge also the state of South Australia, the state of excitement. And our other sponsors who've already been acknowledged. So thank you all. We had, I think, 6 great teams, average of 1 bottle of wine per team. Just a reminder there. It's been a really good year. We've done a couple of things differently this year that I think have worked really well. So we've done a lot more one-on-one coaching with teams than we've ever done before. And I have to say, September, October are normally a couple of months that go by in an absolute blur for me, because FOMENT's hard work. It went even faster this year because the constant coaching was great. And I found that to be a really rewarding process for me. Carla also did some one-on-one work as well as took most of the one-to-many side of the sessions. The Barossa immersion, again, worked really, really well. And I'm really thrilled with this morning's session, which is the first time that we've actually taken FOMENT out to pitch to investors. And I'd like to thank our alumni. We had 3 years of businesses, and Chris over here from Seller, thank you for coming over from Perth to pitch today. It was it's a pleasure to see you. It's always a pleasure, briefly. Yes, I did mean it that way. So it's always great to see you. But we had 3 years of companies here, 3 years of success, 3 years of companies who are making actually a tangible difference to wine companies. Just to pick out a couple, Seller, who I've actually seen 3 announcements from them in the last fortnight of companies whose marketing they're enhancing overseas. I do keep an eye on their announcements. There's a family involvement there. Borough Markets, I had a bit of fun today because I just approved, while Grant was pitching, I actually approved the job in the UK that he mentioned in his pitch, that they now had 4 customers, and I was hanging off till he pitched to do that. So it's great to have, Deep Planet pitched, they were one of last year's. It's great to have that group of people who are making a difference in South Australia. And of course, several of them have moved to South Australia, with Deep Planet being the latest one to move an operating office into Adelaide. I think I'll shut up now and we'll get on with it.
Good. Otherwise the timekeeper has to come out.
Oh, I can talk all day.
I know.
Yeah.
Put me on a bus with a microphone sometime.
So,
I've talked enough.
no, I mean, I'll call one and you'll call the other. So we'll first call the participants here in person, and then we will also call the ones online, because we need to shift the focus of the camera, so you just see your own certificate, which you will receive via mail, hopefully very fast. You never know.
One of you will.
First of all, actually had Guy. So, Guy, congratulations. Do you want to give him the certificate? And maybe a photo, something like that.
Yeah, sure.
In the middle, Guy. Yeah.
That's probably more balanced.
No worries. Thank you so much, Guy, and hopefully you enjoyed. Any words?
I've always got a lot of words, as you guys know. Yeah. No, but seriously though, it's totally worth its weight in gold. I think the unique thing about FOMENT is you can get something out of it no matter who you are and what position you are, because I think it's probably a bit left field that I'm not a founder and we're a little bit more advanced coming into a second area, but I still got so much value out of it, particularly the in-person meetings and the networking that I was able to do through you guys and your industry knowledge. So I think, no matter what stage you're at, you can still get some value out of FOMENT, particularly if you're entering the market here. So just want to really thank you guys for putting that on, and it's really helped me in 4 months. We're flying. So, it's been a huge help.
Thank you very much. Cheers. We forgot to thank the Adelaide Hills and Darrenberg, because our immersion was also at the Hills, and McLaren Vale.
Oh yes, so I do have to say that the single most entertaining wine tourism experience of my life was at Darrenberg. That was fabulous. Chester really spent some time with us, and it was seriously good fun. And for those of you who are here in person, what we do now when we do those immersions is we take a camera along and we zoom it out to the other participants. And the feedback we've got from that this year, because this year we were very careful to make sure that we had really good connectivity the whole time, was that they couldn't imagine it being any better if they weren't there. So the Adelaide Hills wine region, particularly
Murdoch Hill and Simon Tully.
Murdoch Hill and Simon Tully, both clients of mine, whose names I should remember. So thank you both for doing that, and we really, really enjoy the way the wine industry gets behind it.
Absolutely. And now Consimos and Francesca Blefari from the Australian Wine Research Institute. They did not pitch today, but they still want to say some words, I think. Is that true? Oh, first of all, we take a photo. I mean, should we take a photo? First of all, I have to say something that I think I never said in any celebration pitch. I think Francesca, and she was just from day one so committed, and I've so organized, and in a way I thought I was very organized, but she still managed to organize me. So I was very impressed from day one, and I mean, with Con, what can I say? What a character, what a personality, so much fun. And, we had a great time and we learned together. So thank you very much for joining as well.
Thank you. Very nice words. I think you have to be organised when you work with Con. So I learned so much personally out of this program. I didn't really know what to expect coming into it, and it's probably one of the first ones I've done of this degree. So for me, the networking element of it was great. The mentoring sessions that we've had that I was here for, unfortunately I was away for a couple of weeks, but what I was here for, I got a lot out of it personally as well. And it helped me to, I guess, look at the pathways we need to take in terms of taking our product forward into the market and going forward as to what we want to do with it. So I really got a lot out of it and grateful that we could do it as well. Thank you. Would you like to say anything?
Really? All right. Look, I just want to thank the. All right. I just want to. All right. All right. Look, I just want to thank the organising team. It's been a very, very quick ride, I guess. I guess a quick ride is always a good ride as well. So we certainly have realised all of the errors that we have undertaken the last 4 years. So thanks, team, for that. We really appreciate it. But having said that, we're still here. We've learnt a lot. It's giving us a really good opportunity to how we structure ourselves going forward. And I think with all of the groups going across, I think we've probably undertaken, or we've gone through pretty much the same sort of discovery path. We've had the same problems, I guess, and I think it's been really good to have that perspective. So thank you.
Thank you. Very nice word. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hopefully, you can frame that in a nice place. Okay, and so now, do you want to say the names? And
So good.
Okay.
Very good job.
Thank you for the compliment. So we would like to now thank ConnectOne Club, so Vijeesh and Pony. Thank you so much for, can you show thank you so much for joining FOMENT. Is there any words you'd like to say?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So it was a great journey for us. It was a great opportunity for us to get to know the wine and grape growing industry better. So thanks a lot for everything, and especially the one-to-one sessions with Darren and the sessions with Carla. So those were very helpful for us, to refine the overall approach to the solution problem, all those kind of different scenarios. So thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's really easy just to stick the thing on the screen.
I know,
Right.
right?
So I get the hard work.
Yes.
Jimmy, and none for Will? There's not one there for Will?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Will Palmer and Jimmy Scott.
Will may never forgive me for something I said to him earlier today. Well done, team, and congratulations. Scooped the pool in terms of the wine. So you can clap. Yes, please clap.
Any words?
Yeah, any words? Any words?
Thank you. This has been a fantastic experience. It's
been great meeting so many highly engaged people who are keen to adopt technology for the industry, and also just building some relationships that we can continue working with people for years to come, hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Zach Sweeney from WineTime, or from something else. Probably have to change your name soon, Zach.
Why?
Congratulations.
There may be a name change quite soon. Thank you. Just want to say a big thank you to the whole FOMENT team. It's definitely been a massive journey for me and definitely a big learning experience, and also everyone in the industry who've given time from a one-on-one perspective, and also the visits, in-field visits, which we joined virtually. It's been an awesome experience, and also the other members of the FOMENT program. I think it wouldn't have been the same without all of the other super successful and high ambition companies and founders that we've been working with. So it definitely helped come together and work together on that. So it's been a great experience. Thank you all.
Thanks, Zach. And John Pennington, AKJP, aka Roberto. Congratulations and thank you. You can say something now too.
Thank you very much. Thank you for a wonderful accelerator. We undertook the program to really accelerate our knowledge into the industry and how our technology can be applied. I think it's been a tremendous exercise. Lots of great fellow participants in the cohort, which is awesome. And for us, really important thing about the accelerator is that we're not accelerating down the wrong path. So all of the sessions we've had around the coaching and mentoring have been awesome, and we're really excited about the future in wine and agri-tech in Australia in general. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Darren and Carla. All right. I have a couple of thank you gifts for our jury members. We have a bottle of wine each for you as the jury members, and I also have a thank you gift for Claire. You get chocolates, Claire. So if you want to trade for wine, come and talk to someone here at the table. They might want to do a swap for chocolate for wine. So, but I'll leave that with you. So listen, thank you very much for the jury, and I really pass on my congratulations to the operational team, Carla and Darren, and there is a tremendous amount of work that happens behind the scenes here, and it's not easy doing a hybrid program is the real simple answer. It's much easier if it's all in class or if it's all remote. Doing it hybrid, it's the most difficult of challenges, and they've done extremely well and been very adaptable, and I thank everyone for their time and involvement. The final wrap that I've got here is our final FOMENT event for this year. Our next event is a tourism activation, which is going to be broadcast live from regional South Australia, and it's actually going to be in Port Pirie. And it's going to have presenters from across Australia, and the key focus is going to be on tech use and accessible tourism. So I'm thinking Claire might be touching into this. It's going to be on the 23rd of November, and I am told in my ear, yes, details will be coming in the next couple of days. So that's it. Thank you, everyone. I think everyone here that is physically, I think we have some nibbles and drinks next door. Those that are on online and remote, thank you for joining and participating. You are equally able to go to the kitchen and grab some nibbles and drinks as well. Okay, thank you.
And I guess thank you for your amazing emceeing of the event. Thank you so much. Just a small event.
Thank you very much. All right, awesome. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you so much for coming. And you all get
Hey, Jimmy, congratulations on your People's Choice Award. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Oh, can you see them? Can you see them?
Thank you very much, JP.
Well deserved, buddy. Cheers.
Yes, thank you.
William, I'm not sure you deserved it.
I agree.
I'll be sure that he is in on the spoilers.
Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, enjoy the rest of. Thank you so much, John. You must be looking forward to just relax.